Another thing to consider in your overall budget is charges for Social Security and Medicare or FICA taxes. In addition to income tax, we're required to pay Federal Insurance Contributions Act or FICA taxes used for Social Security and Medicare. The following table shows FICA rates for employees and employers. Employees are required to pay 5.65% on the first $110,000 of income and 1.45% of income in excess of $110,000. Employers pay matching and exceeding rates, and self-employed rates are even higher. So let's see how this would affect your weekly paycheck. If you are not self-employed, so that's going to put you in just an ordinary employee category, and you earn $200,000, what are your FICA taxes? So your FICA taxes are going to be 5.65% on the first $110,000 that you earn. So we're going to calculate 0.0565, 5.65% of $110,000. But keep in mind, we also have to pay 1.45% on everything beyond that $110,000 that we earn. So we have earned $90,000 beyond that $110,000 for our yearly income. So we're going to calculate 0.0145 times 90,000. Okay, just to be clear, the 110,000 plus the 90,000 gives me the 200,000. So let's add this up and calculate our FICA taxes. So we have 0.0565 times the first 110,000 that we earned plus 0.0145 or 1.45% on the last 90,000 that we earned. So our FICA taxes for the year would be $7,520. So it's a pretty simple calculation, a little bit similar to the way that we partitioned taxable income in each tax bracket, but these are the only two portions that we consider, the first 110,000 and then anything beyond that. Okay, let's apply this to a specific situation. Example 6. You would like to have extra spending money, so you decide to work part-time at the local gym. The job pays $10 per hour, and you work $20 per week. So you get $10 per hour, you work 20 hours per week. Your employer withholds 10% of your gross pay for federal taxes, 5.65% for FICA taxes, because you're probably not going to make more than $110,000 if you're only making $10,000 a year part-time, right? And then 3% for state tax, not for Texas, but for some other states. First of all, let's answer the question, what is your weekly gross pay? Well, remember, you earned $10 per hour and you worked 20 hours every week. So your weekly gross pay is $200. And again, that is per week. Next question. Well, we're not going to get to take home that $200. We are going to need to pay federal taxes. Now, remember, 10% of our gross pay was withheld for federal taxes. So our federal taxes, now this is almost like saving it up for the income tax that we owe at the end of the year, right? We take a little bit out of our check every month because that is wise. Otherwise, we'd be faced with a big lump sum at the end of the tax year, right? So a little bit is taken out with every check per week to start saving up for the amount that we owe in income tax. Okay, so we need to calculate 10%, 0.10 of our weekly pay, and that's going to be $20 per week. At the end of the year, if we have overpaid our taxes, we get a refund. And if we have underpaid based on this approximation, because remember, there was a lot of different tax brackets, 10%, 15%, 25%. So if we've underpaid, then we owe at the end of the year. Next question, how much is withheld per week for FICA taxes? Now, remember the rule is 5.65% on the first $110,000 that we make. So our FICA tax is 0.0565 of the $200 that we make per week. Let's multiply that out. We're going to owe $11.30 per week. How much is withheld per week for state taxes? So in this particular state, not Texas, a 3% tax rate is applied. So the state tax will be 3%, 0.03 of our $200 weekly pay. So 3% of $200 is $6. And that is per week. Okay, these are painful, right? We're making $200 per week, and a lot of it is getting scooped away, right? So let's figure out, what is our weekly net pay? Well, we're going to take our weekly gross pay, which is $200. We're going to subtract the amount that goes to income tax. We're going to subtract $11.30 for FICA taxes and $6 per week for state taxes. Let's see what that leaves us with to take home. $200 minus 20 minus $11.30 minus 6. So our weekly net pay would be $162.70. So here's the question. What percentage of your gross pay is withheld for taxes? And we'll round that percentage to the nearest tenth. Well, let's figure out how much was withheld for taxes. If our gross pay is $200 and our net pay is $162.70, then the difference is the amount that was withheld for taxes. That gives us $37.30 withheld each week for taxes. And we want to know what percent of our gross pay is withheld for taxes. So we're going to go back to our basic percent formula. If the amount of tax withheld is $37.30, we want to know what percent of our gross pay has been withheld for taxes. Let's solve this for P by dividing both sides by 200. And we can type that into our calculator, $37.30 divided by 200. And we end up with 0.1865. Remember, that's the decimal form of the percent. We want to convert that back to a percent. So I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right, and we would get 18.65%. However, the problem did tell us round to the nearest tenth. There's the tenths position. Since the next position is 5 or higher, we'll move this one up to 18.7%. That is painful, right? 18.7% of your net pay held for income tax, state tax, and FICA. Okay, I hope this was helpful. And in the next few chapters, we get to look at the more exciting topics of how do we save money, how do we plan for retirement, how do we handle car payments and mortgage payments. So we'll get there soon.